Hey guys, my name is Nora Franche, and welcome to the podcast Grateful Blessed Mess, daily reflections for those in the 12 steps. I am a fellow 12-stepper and certified mindset coach, and I am here to introduce you to the value of mindset coaching in your 12-step journey. So if you feel like you are stuck in the steps, if you're slipping and sliding with your abstinence, mindset coaching may help you as it did me, and you can find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. These episodes are meant to invite you in to consider the truths of 12-step wisdom and to join in the very real struggle of living them in action. I hope that it feels almost like a mini meeting, and I invite you to contribute your own share on the Grateful Blessed Mess Facebook group to keep the discussion going. My comments are based on my own experience, so feel free to take what you like and leave the rest. But my hope is to encourage you on your own daily 12-step journey. As they say, you cannot stay clean on yesterday's shower. So without further ado, let's begin. Hey guys, we are reading from Daily Reflections, page 187, the reading for June 27th, Conforming to the AA Way. We obey AA steps and traditions because we really want them for ourselves. It is no longer a question of good or evil. We conform because we genuinely want to conform. Such is our process of growth in unity and function. Such is the evidence of God's grace and love among us. That is from AA Comes of Age, page 106. It is fun to watch myself grow in AA. I fought conformity to AA's principles from the moment I entered, but I learned from the pain of my belligerence that in choosing to live the AA way of life, I opened myself to God's grace and love. Then I began to know the full meaning of being a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. What this makes me think of is how my growth and the length of time, however much time I stayed in program, how that has contributed to my eagerness and my willingness to conform to my Catholic faith, actually. And I had an original idea for this podcast, the Grateful Blessed Mess podcast, that I still may do down the road, but of the biggest story people had in their lives, of where their messes have become their gratitudes, their blessings, a bless in the mess. And one of my biggest ones that was largely healed by my time in the steps and conforming without as much difficulty to the recommendations in terms of like the spiritual practices of the 12 steps, was how it somehow gave me permission and took away the stigma of practicing my faith the way that I had always been taught and told to practice my faith, because I was hearing it from a neutral source. Isn't that so funny? So a huge area of healing that I often want to shout about from the rooftops, except I don't want to, because I don't want someone to take it the wrong way, because it's very precious and dear to me, is how much I fell in love with my Catholic faith from doing the disciplines of the 12 steps. And that is something that was a byproduct. That is not something I intentionally, obviously, went into the steps for. But they talk about here how people get to choose, that they conform not because they have to, but because they want to. And I think just growing up as a cradle Catholic, I just felt the weight of all the rules and all the recommendations, and just because I'm someone who easily, I guess, spots problems, all I could see were the areas where I fell short in my tendency to dwell on negativity. It was very easy for me to just see where I was doing it wrong and where I wasn't doing it well enough. And it became very heavy and difficult and a source of pain instead of being the source of freedom and joy that that it is, I turned it into something that it wasn't. And so I now have, I have, I was blessed with a willingness to want to be in the 12 steps. The way they use their spiritual language and their neutrality of language in terms of a higher power, but still recommended practicing the same things as my Catholic faith did, just with different language, told me from someone who wasn't a catechist or a teacher or a parent how important it is to connect with the God of my understanding, how important it is to pray, to meditate, to turn it over, to trust in a power greater than myself, to trust, to admit my powerlessness, and to identify my defects of character, to identify the areas in my life where I fell short, where I missed the mark, where I over or underdid some good thing and it became a bad thing, or did it for the wrong motive. And so my two worlds have collided. And I now have such a joy and such a fire for what I am, for this blending of the 12 steps and the Catholic faith. And if that's intriguing to you, I hope it's intriguing to people. I think I have a fear that it's a turnoff. If it's intriguing to you, I'd love to talk more about it. If it's upsetting to you, I'm sorry that it's upsetting. But I can't not speak to the source of joy it has brought about for me. Because I also want that for you in whatever way that looks like, that your life gets to become more integrated and more whole. And that it's not the you who goes to work and the you who goes to church and the you who goes and visits your parents and the you who goes out with your friends, that person is the same and whole in each atmosphere. That we no longer have to protect ourselves from other people or from ourselves and hide and fake who we are so that, we don't get more hurt than we already are. And so that is, I guess, the philosophy too behind the Grateful Blessed Mess podcast is just in a way to celebrate the integration that my life has overgone here in terms of being able to now have my life be one thing and also to be real in the struggle, the continued struggle that still exists in me, even though I am all one thing now, or I'm trying to be as best I can. I'm working towards that actively, is that I still want to be able to find the gratitude that has come from my messes. And I want that for you. With that, I pass. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you feel that mindset coaching could help you on your 12-step journey, please feel free to reach out and find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. This is not a replacement for 12-step work. This is something outside of the 12 steps. It is simply something that has a heart for the 12 steps and those who are in it. And so, welcome. If you are here, chances are you may also be a bit of a mess. And I hope that you can learn to find some gratitude in the blessings that have come from your messes.